Feel your breath in my lungs. Do you? Do I love the taste of your tongue, got a taste of your love, and I want you. And it goes way beyond the chemistry, the kind of friend that I can never have platonically. And they don't know about what's going on behind the scenes, but they don't need to. I swear I'll keep it between you and me. What we're doing, yeah. Think I'll leave it at that, yeah. But no, I'll keep replaying moments and scenes in my head, yeah. I'm waking up tired, but you're next to me in the bed. We're not even getting no rest, no, we ain't got time for that. And we ain't got patience. Clothes on the floor, room is messy, won't pick it up, I'm too lazy, yeah. Wanna stay here all day, cancel plans, friends say I'm changing up. But you know I change for you, and you know I'll keep it real quiet, no explaining what we're doing, yeah.
Shall I compare to a summer day? She's the sun, she fill up the gray. Quench my thirst, she's my lemonade, the yellow that I couldn't paint. Shall I compare to a summer day? Just like the sun, it will never fade. The cool breeze in the shade, my four leaves to the blade, right to my mistakes. She's coasting off, I'm dozing like a ghost, thinking that maybe I wouldn't notice. But it's colder, it's colder, it's cold around when you're not here. You put this icebox where my heart used to be, my dear. Not too fond of the idea that you would come my downfall. When the rain it pours, my heart will forever take its toll. She's all I know, she's all I know, she's all I know. I just know she'll be my downfall. When the rain it pours, my heart will forever take its toll. 'Cause she's all I know, she's all I know, she's all I. She knows me like the back of her hand, got me wrapped around her finger, stretched on my arm and see if she's truly there. Man, I'm scared. Praying she won't be my downfall. When the rain it pours, my heart will forever take a toll. 'Cause she's all I know, she's summer day. Shall I compare to a summer day? She's the sun, she fill out the gray. Quench my thirst, she's my lemonade. The yellow that I couldn't paint. Shall I compare to a summer day? Just like the sun, it will never fade. The cool breeze in the shade, my four leaves to the blade, right to my mistakes. I'm dozing like a